Okay, so welcome to the new lecture, that is the beautiful soup. In this particular lecture, we will be discussing the web scraping with the help of a Python package known as the beautiful soup. So steps involved in web scraping is the number one is the send an HTTP request. It incorporates the request library to send a HTTP request to a web page and get the HTML content in response. The second one is to parse the HTML content. Use a parser like HTML parser or any other variation to convert the raw HTML into a structure format. The third one is to extract the data. Use the beautiful soup to navigate the parse tree and extract the required data using tag classes or IDs. The modules you need to install are the request package and the beautiful soup 4 package as well. So first thing is first, I already installed the request package, so I will just checking the version that if it is installed correctly, then it will give me the desired version as well. As you can see, I got the latest version of the request package. The second one is the beautiful soup. The beautiful soup is also installed here, and you will get the latest version as well. Now to fetch the HTML document. So in order to fetch the HTML document, again you will need to import the request package, and then you need to specify the uh, page that whose content you want to import. So just for the sake of you can say mm, uh, just for the sake of surety, you need to access, just write the this particular URL in your web browser, and let's check if it is working properly. As you can see that this is working properly here, and because I have accessed this website through our browser directly, so it is allowing me to access the web page successfully without any errors. Now getting back to the content here. So the response that we will get here is by using the get method of the request package, or you can say class, and then URL which we have used here, we will put this URL here. So as a result, if we want to see the uh, data of this particular website, you have to use the name of the object of the request class and the text attribute of that particular class. As a result, you will see the output that this is the content of the page that which we have fetched from the particular website using the URL. So as you can see that this is now raw data. Why is it called raw data? Because there are no particular indentation here. In some cases there are, but in some cases the data is not very much indented or in a particular format. So that is why we will need to convert it into the uh, other format, and that is much more readable. So in order to do that, we will be needing to import the beautiful soup package. So from the bs4 package, we will import the beautiful soup class, and then we will create object soup, and this object will be returned by the beautiful soup constructor, in which we will first input the raw data which we have fetched using the request class, and then we will also specify the parser name here. So the prettify method of the beautiful soup class actually, you can say, gives us the output in a much readable and much better format. Now you can see all the data here is quite well indented and much readable format. So these paragraphs were not indented, now these paragraphs are indented as well. However, so this is how you can prettify your raw data into much readable format now. So just for the sake of knowledge, beautiful soup support different parsers like HTML, XML, and HTML5 lib. Choose one by specifying it as the second argument. For example, this as well. So in this case, we already use the HTML.parser. You can use the other parsers as well. Now the third step is to extract the data. Now the HTML is parsed, and specific elements like text, links, or images can be extracted by targeting tags and classes using beautiful methods like find all, etc. We will be just sticking to these two particular methods of the beautiful soup class. Now, if you want to find all the content of the particular park data, then you can use the find all, so you can find all the data here as well. However, we don't need all the data because we know that we also need the author name, the content, and the tags if there are any. However, now here we will start from the scratch. So again, we are importing the request class from the BS4 uh, module. We are importing the beautiful soup class. This is the URL, and this particular header here will work as a troubleshoot kind of thing that will help us to troubleshoot and access the web page if there are any errors. Okay, so now again we are calling the get method of the request class. First we have specified the URL which we have specified here, and then we have also specified the headers is equal to headers, which again works as a troubleshoot if there are minor errors in accessing the particular website. Now we have created an object of the beautiful soup. So this is the constructor of the beautiful soup class. It will return an object. We are storing it here, and the constructor is demanding two things here. The first one is the data of the website in raw format, and then the parser. We have specified both of them here. So actually this is the list of codes which we will be storing here, and now this is this is type of a container which will store all the codes here, and we will be then extracting the codes here using this particular variable. And now we have used the name of the object of the beautiful soap class, and then we have specified the method name find all. Now this method we are specifying basically two things. The very first one is the div elements. We only are interested in the div elements, and in the second argument we have specified the parameter class, and to the parameter class we have actually applied a number of CSS classes here. So if you want to know the details of these CSS classes, so these are the details. What is call 6? It is basically a bootstrap grid class. This is the it's for the details are also specified here. Call LG3, another bootstrap grid class for large screens, and text center, a bootstrap beauty class that center the text horizontally. Margin 30 px bottom, a custom framework specified class, not standard bootstrap, adds 30 pixels of margin at the bottom of the element. SM margin 30 px top, another custom responsive class at 30 pixels specifically or small screens as well. So, and just for the sake of surety, we are interested in the matter of fact that if the code box's length is not 0, it means that it has fetched those desired div elements from the particular you can say the format which we have already passed through the HTML parser. And if there is any sort of issue such as normally the request class does not work for the dynamic website, so in that case it may not be able to fetch that content, and we needed to switch to the other solution such as Selenium instead of the request. So now let's run this particular code here. So as you can see that this particular line has returned the value 0. It means that it does not contain any kind of information, or it was not able to extract the div elements from the parse data. The basic reason is that the particular URL which we have specified here, it uses dynamic JavaScript, and the request class does not work properly for the dynamic JavaScript environment. And that is why the rest of the code did not properly output anything in the output, and we only got the output length is equal to 0. In that case, we will be switching to the Selenium package instead of the request class. So now what we are doing here is that we are creating a variable driver and web driver dot chrome, and now as we have created an object of the web driver class, you can say. So using this object, what we are doing, we are calling the get method, and to the get method we are specifying the URL here. As a result, what it will do, it will fetch all the content of the website in a raw format, and if you want to access that raw format contents, you can specify driver dot page underscore source. Okay, now again we are incorporating a beautiful soup class to both prettify the raw data and also to extract the useful information which we are interested in. So again we have specified the raw content of the particular URL, and then we have specified the name of the parser. It will parse all the raw format, and it will highlight it in the indented and most readable format. Now what we are doing here, we are again creating a container which will contain all the div you can say um, all the div elements, and it will store it in the code boxes container. And then we have specified two classes of the HTML, a list of CSS classes, you can say. We have specified the two classes here. If you are interested in detail, you can get the detail of these two classes on your own. However, again what we are doing here, first we are making sure that if the length of code under code box is 0, then it means that it did not fetch the data properly, and if the length is not 0, it means that it has successfully fetched the data. But there are certain restrictions on some websites. So normally the website which we have specified here, it has a restriction that you cannot scrap this website from the same IP address or same MAC address more than 5 times a day. I already did access it multiple times today, so it may not allow us to access any further today. So anyhow, if it does not return a length equal to 0, it will definitely mean that it has stored some considerable amount of data. And then what we are doing here, we are running a loop on this particular code boxes. It will fetch each box in a particular iteration, and then we will code the text. And the second thing is that will create you can say dictionary code with the name code, and then in the theme we will store the theme, and image URL we will store the URL, and then the lines of the codes and the name of the author. So we will be specifying the name of the author here as well, and then we will append this code to the code as you might know that we might have um, declared this code somewhere. It's I think, okay, let's first just run this code and let's check if it creates any errors. Anyhow, so this is basically the list of codes, and we are appending the new code to this list of codes here. And for queuing code, so I guess I should create the list of codes here. Codes is equal to like this, okay, save it. Now we will be appending the code here. And for queuing codes, it will append only the first five for brevity, and then for boxes in code, and then again if you okay, okay, let's first run this code. So now we are accessing this website through the this particular app here, so it sometimes does not allow you to access more than uh, few times. So as you can see that we have stuck here, and if I verify it as a human, if it does allow us that we are a human, that as now you can see that is it is not allowing us, it means that it has detected that we are accessing this particular website through a bot, so that is why it won't allow us to go any further. So in case if it did allow us, then we might be able to proceed any further. So in that case it's not allowing here. The reason I already specified that it actually detected us as a bot, and it do allow bots to web scrap the sites, but there are some particular restrictions that it does not allow us to access the websites more than as more than you can say 3 or 4 times per day. It actually depends from website to website, so that is why you can see these errors here. The reason is that um, we were we crossed the limit of this particular website. It does not allow us to web scrap this website more than few times a day. Okay, so just for the sake of practice, we have changed the URL. Okay, I think there should be one more site here. Okay, um, okay, just for the sake of clarity, uh, the purpose of this particular code here is to demonstrate that if this particular website allows web scraping. Okay, so at the end of the code, you can say that there is an attribute of the request class with the name status code. So if you try to access the value of this code, so if this value is equal to 302, it redirects confirming bot block, that the bot is has been blocked. And if it is loaded but still blocked, it means that you are allowed but not giving the correct page. Request will not get the original page. Okay, and if it is 403, it means that this website is forbidden. You will not be even able to access this website using a web browser as well. So by running this particular code, what we get here is the status code 200. It means that the 200, it means that the website content has been loaded but it is still blocked. You are not allowed but given the correct page, request will not get the original page. It means that in some cases, as we just saw, that although we were able to get the content of the page, but it did not allow us to fully access the page. So anyhow, this is kind of a verification that which you can use, that if the website is blocked or not. Anyhow, moving forward, uh, since we are practicing web scraping, so we will change the URL to some other URL and check if this particular URL works. So this is the first step. Okay, I did not copy actually. So I have to press Ctrl C. Okay, now just to check if this URL works. So okay, so now you can see that this URL works as well. So this is basically a page that consists of the code and name of the author, and there are multiple tags here, so we need to keep that in mind that this page contains a code that has three modules. The first one is the code itself, the second one is the author of the code, and third one is the tags of this particular code. And there are several pages here. Currently we are on the page number 1. So if I go to the next, then this is basically the page number 2, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the URL which we are using here. Again, we are using a header just to be on the safe side. If there are some minor errors, then we would be able to overcome the errors by using this particular header here. You have to use it as it is. Now we are again using the request class, and then we are using the get method, and then first we have to specify the URL, and then we have to specify the headers here as well. So now this class will return an object, and we are storing that object with the name response. So there will be an attribute with the name text that would contain the raw format of this page, so we will parse that page with that HTML parser to make it much more readable. And then in order to find all the div, you can say the div elements of that particular class, and the class is equal to code. Okay, now we are creating an empty list with a name data, and then you are using uh, since this code blocks contain multiple blocks of uh, codes, so that is why we are running the for loop to access each of the code block. So the first one actually finds the span, you can say the span element of the page, and then using the class text, and it is retrieving the text from that particular text. So this will actually extract the quote itself, and the second statement will extract the author name, and this third one actually access the tags. But since these are multiple tags, so that is why we will be storing these tags by separated by the comma. And then the list which we have created before the for loop, we will simply append these three contents as a dictionary here. So this dictionary contains three um, keys here, and each key corresponds to the string itself. So this text also a string, author is also a type of string, and tag is also a type of string, and we have used commas to separate multiple keys from each other. So now we are using this data here to convert it into the data frame. So we have put this as an input to the pandas data frame class constructor, and this will create a data frame object, and then we will display this particular object here. And then in case if you want to export this data frame to the CSV, then you have to use this particular statement here. Since I already exported it, so it won't allow to overwrite it. The reason is that I have created it in the C directory where my operating system is installed, and this is basically it basically tries to overwrite a system file, so that is why it does not allow to overwrite it. So you have to manually delete the original file, and then you have, then only then you will be able to save it. So that is why I have commented this out as well. So now let's see the output. So this is basically displaying only the data frame here, and now you can see that we have the uh, column labels here. The first one is the quote itself, the second one is the author, and the third one the tag. So the quote has the quote on the quote itself. The second one contains the author name, and the third one is the name of the you can say uh, keywords separated by the comma values. So since this particular URL only extracted the data of the page number one, in case if you want to extract all the data of all the pages, or by data I mean all the codes with the respective author and keywords, then you have to change your approach a little bit. So in that particular case, we have changed the URL with the curly braces instead of a single page number, and then we have created the data, but this data is not a list. In that case, it is basically a dictionary, and in this particular dictionary there is only a single key with the name codes, and against this code there is a list, and we will be storing the list of dictionaries again inside this list. So at the start we have uh, saved a value of 1 in the variable page. Now as long as the condition is true, this loop will continuously go forward. So the base.format url.page, and it will create a URL. As you can see that we have specified page as an input. So what it will do is that it will replace these curly braces with the value of 1, and the rest of URL will be the same to same. And then we have used a header here to make sure that um, just to make sure that there is if there are any minor errors, so that it could be overcome at real time. And then again we have uh, used the get method of the response of the request class. First we have provided the URL, and then we have provided the headers. Okay, and it will return an object. We are storing that object with the name response. So if response.status code is not equal to 200, it means that there is some sort of error fetching the page. So it will not only break the loop, but also provide the status that why this page has not been fetched. So it will either be error 403, or some sort of other error such as the 302. Sorry. Okay, so if the status code is exactly 200, then we will again use the beautiful soup class constructor, and then we will first provide it is the raw data, and then the HTML parser, and it will return uh, an object, and we are storing that object with the name soup. And now again we have created a block of codes that contains more than one code. In that case, what it does is that it collects basically the codes only from the page number one, and stores it in the code blocks. So all the codes from the page number ones are with the respective code author name, and the keywords are stored in the code blocks. So we are checking if code block does not contain anything, then it will again break the while loop. uh, it normally occurs if the website uses a dynamic JavaScript, then it may not be able to fetch the data, or the request class does not has the ability, so you will have to use the selenium instead of the request. So anyhow, if it does contain something, so what we will be doing is that we will be fetching each block of the code from the collective block, and then we will storing the text into the text. We will be storing the author name to the author, and then we will be storing the tags into the tags. Here we have created a list, and the keywords will be stored in the form of the list rather than comma separated values. So each keyword will be an element of a list. So now what we are doing is that we are appending all these information in the form of a dictionary. So it is basically appending to the list of dictionaries to the codes uh, key of them. You can say a, a much bigger dictionary, or a dictionary on the higher hierarchy. Okay, so this line will simply print the page number and length of the block codes that which we have fetched so far. So this will, if there are, let's say, 30 codes on the first page, then it will you can it will just return 30, so on and so forth. So at the end of the value we are incrementing the page, and this will again uh, goes as well. So this loop will either break if the code blocks does not contain any block of code, or if the page does not allow us to access it anymore. If either of these cases is true, then the while loop will break, and if the loop will break, what we are doing is that we are creating a data frame from the data which we have already fetched. But since we already have a single key, so we have specified the key here as well, and all this data will be fetched into the data frame format. So now we are displaying this data frame, and then what we are doing here is that what this particular line does is that since the tags will be initially in the form of the list separated by the commas, so in case if he does not want to create as a list but rather as a string separated by a comma, so you have to use this particular statement here. So now we are displaying the first 10 rows of that particular data frame, and then at the end we are using this line here. Since I already saved it, so I will comment out it out so that it does not give us any error, and then at the end saved all the codes to the this particular file here will be appeared on the screen. So now we can see that it has already scrapped, so there were total of 10 pages, and this is the final data frame which we are looking at the moment. So as you can see that the values under the tag column are enclosed in the bracket, which means it is at the moment in the form of a list. So by executing this particular line, what we did that we converted this list into the comma separated values, or simply a string. So this is it from the web scraping. So that was a very small introduction. See you in the next lecture.